Football is by far the most popular sport in the US. Fans from all over the country gather on Sundays and Mondays to watch the games and support their favorite teams. Well, no wonder the athletes who reach the top make more money than they know what to do with. And if you are curious to know who are the richest NFL players, stay tuned, because that's exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. You are watching the top 10 richest NFL players, and in this video I'm going to show you who are the top 10 richest NFL players, how much they are worth, and also how they made it to the top. But before we begin, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We here at Top 10 Luxury Edition are always uploading videos for you to take a sneak peek into the world of luxury. And if you like this type of content, also hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And without further ado, here are the top 10 richest NFL players. Number 10. Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger is undoubtedly one of the most successful active quarterbacks in the NFL, having won 7 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, and winning scores of other individual career accomplishments. Now, Ben Roethlisberger started playing professionally for the Pittsburgh Steelers way back in 2004, but even though he is one of the best players in the sport today, his career had lots of ups and downs along the way, including several sexual assault allegations, a tragic motorcycle accident that almost killed him, and even a short suspension from the NFL because of personal misconduct. Luckily, none of these hurdles were enough to get his very successful quarterback career off track, and today, Ben has a personal fortune of little over $100 million. A fortune that is likely to continue growing since his current contract with the Steelers is making him more than $14 million per year. Number 9. Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is an NFL quarterback who has made his fame playing for the Seattle Seahawks, the only team he has ever played up until today. Russell grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and his father introduced him to football when he was only 4 years old. And since he started playing so early in life, by the time he reached high school age, he was already on top of his game and was on his way to a very successful professional career. But according to Russell Wilson himself, besides having started playing football as a kid, the fact that he attended the Manning Passing Academy was the best thing that ever happened to his career. In case you don't know, those who are lucky enough to attend the Manning Passing Academy will have the opportunity to be coached directly by Peyton and Eli Manning, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And Russell Wilson was fortunate enough to attend the academy and soak up all of the knowledge and experience directly from both of them. Well, no wonder he is one of the best active quarterbacks today, having already won 1 Super Bowl, being one of the only 4 quarterbacks in history with a passer rating over 100, and breaking dozens of long-standing records. And as a result of such a successful career, he makes a lot of money. For instance, his current contract with the Seattle Seahawks is worth $140 million. And he also has several endorsement deals with brands like Nike and Microsoft. Today, Russell Wilson has a personal fortune of a little over $135 million, which will probably grow even bigger since he is still an active player. Number 8. John Elway. Born in Port Angeles, Washington, Elway has always been a very talented player. For instance, by the time he reached college age, he had more than 60 colleges offering him scholarships. And to nobody's surprise, he broke dozens of long-standing records as soon as he started playing college football. Thankfully, his talent and skills followed him well into his professional career, and he has won 9 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, and was awarded as the NFL MVP once. Well, with such a successful career, no wonder money and fame also followed. For instance, he has made more than $45 million from salaries alone, and then a lot more endorsing brands like Nestle and General Motors. But unfortunately for all of us football fans, John Elway has long retired from the fields to enjoy his massive $145 million personal fortune. Number 7. Eli Manning. Eli Manning was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and he comes from a family of very successful football players. For instance, his father is none other than Archie Manning, a former NFL quarterback. And his older brother, Peyton Manning, also one of the richest football players in the world, whom we will talk about shortly, is also a highly successful NFL quarterback. Luckily, Eli followed the footsteps of his father and his older brother, and today he is also one of the best players in the history of the sport, having won 2 Super Bowls, 4 Pro Bowls, and being awarded as the Super Bowl MVP twice. And on top of all of his career accomplishments, Eli Manning is also a very rich folk. In fact, he used to be the highest paid NFL player at the time of his retirement, having made more than $253 million in the span of his career. And if you consider how much he makes endorsing well-known brands like Hublot and Visa, you will be able to see why he is one of the richest NFL players. Unfortunately, Eli Manning has already retired from the field. After all, with a personal fortune of $150 million, he doesn't have to work for another day in his life. Number 6. Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a recently retired NFL quarterback who made his fame playing for the New Orleans Saints, where he won 1 Super Bowl and was awarded as the NFL Offensive Player of the Year twice, just to name a few of his accomplishments. But even though he won lots of titles and broke lots of records, success didn't come easily to him. First, because he only started playing football during his late high school years, and almost no team wanted to take him up because of that. And to make matters worse, severe career-threatening injuries were a common occurrence for him. But with hard work and persistence, he managed to overcome all of those hurdles and rise to the top of the game, having won 13 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl MVP award, and awarded as the NFL Comeback Player of the Year once. Now, on top of being a football icon, Drew Brees is also a very rich man. For instance, he makes more than $22 million per year on average, both from the hefty salaries he earns as a player and also from the multi-million brand endorsement deals he has landed with brands like Nike and Pepsi. Well, no wonder Drew Brees has already amassed a personal fortune of over $160 million. What's more, even though he just recently announced his retirement, he already has a big contract lined up with NBC to be one of their NFL commentators. So as you can see, his already big net worth is likely to continue growing. Number 5. Steve Young. Born in Salt Lake City, Utah, Steve Young is one of the best quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. He is a player with the most touchdown passes in a Super Bowl game, the most touchdown passes in a playoff game, and at the time of his retirement, he was the quarterback with the highest passing rate of the NFL. Now, Steve is a natural-born athlete, and he has excelled in every sport he has played, but no other sport matched the passion he had for football, and so he decided to start playing professionally, a decision I am sure he never regretted, because the first contract he has signed was worth a whopping $40 million. Well, not bad for a 23-year-old undergrad. And to make a long story short, Steve Young had a very successful career, having won 7 Pro Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, being awarded as the Super Bowl MVP once, and making more than $150 million as a football player. However, most of his current $200 million net worth does not come from football directly, but rather from his other business ventures. So as you can see, besides being a natural-born athlete, Steve Young is also a talented businessman. Number 4. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is considered by many to be the best quarterback in history. For instance, his career achievements range from having the most touchdown passes to being the player who has won the most Super Bowls. But what most people don't know is that Tom Brady had a hard time getting his professional career going because his coaches were always passing him up in favor of more talented and experienced players. But with hard work and persistence, he overcame those hurdles and started being taken seriously by his coaches. Needless to say, Brady kept his insane work ethic well into his professional career, and he went on to become a living legend of the sport, having won 7 Super Bowls, 14 Pro Bowls, and being awarded as the NFL's most valuable player 3 times. Not surprisingly, Tom Brady has made more than $400 million in the span of his career, most of which comes from the hefty salaries he used to earn as a player, which oftentimes would make him as much as $15 million per year, and also from the brand endorsement deals he signed with well-known brands like Under Armour and Upper Deck. Today, Tom Brady has a personal fortune of little more than $200 million. Well, not bad by any means, but if you consider that his wife, the Brazilian supermodel Gisele Bündchen, is worth more than $400 million, you will see why he probably has no reason to worry about money ever again. Number 3. John Madden. John Madden is definitely a living legend. After all, he is part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, has been a sports commentator for well-known TV networks, and is also behind the famous video game franchise Madden NFL. He started off his career as a player, but due to a series of knee injuries, he had to call it quits on his first year of playing as a professional. However, his passion for the sport spoke louder, and so he decided to get back into the game as a coach. Turns out he made the right decision because his career as a coach was an instant success. For instance, he quickly rose to the top of the college divisions, and not long after, he was hired by the Oakland Raiders to be a professional coach, where he won one Super Bowl. But even though he was a very successful coach, the bulk of his current $200 million net worth does not come from coaching, but rather from several multi-million brand endorsement deals with brands such as Toyota and Miller Lite, and also from the hefty royalty checks he earns from the Madden NFL video game franchise. Number 2. Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is famously recognized as one of the most successful quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, being awarded as the NFL MVP 5 times, the Super Bowl MVP once, and even making it to the NFL Hall of Fame. But what most people don't know about him is that he started off his football career in college as a team mascot. Thankfully, his coach realized this was a huge waste of potential, and so he decided to give him a chance on the field. A decision I am sure he never regretted, because Manning went on to obliterate most college football records. And to make a long story short, Peyton Manning's career as a professional football player was also extremely successful, having won 2 Super Bowls, 14 Pro Bowls, and amassing a giant list of individual career accomplishments. Today, Peyton Manning has a net worth of $250 million, most of which comes directly from his very successful football career, and the rest comes from his many multi-million brand endorsement deals. As you can see, Peyton Manning has come a long way since he was a team mascot. Number 1. Roger Staubach. Also known as Captain America, Roger Staubach is considered to be the best football player of his generation, having won 6 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, and awarded as the Super Bowl MVP once. But to most people's surprise, Roger Staubach was a late bloomer, and he only began taking football seriously during his military service as a Marine. During his service, he started playing and winning important games for the Navy football team, at which point he realized he had a lot of talent for the game and decided to pursue a full-time career as a player. To be fair, Staubach used to make decent money as a football player, having earned little more than $1 million in the span of his career, but he only made crazy amounts of money after he founded a commercial real estate business, which he later sold for a whopping $640 million. And today, at more than 79 years old, Roger Staubach has scaled back on his work schedule, and he likes to spend his $600 million fortune having some downtime with his family. Alright, and those were the top 10 richest NFL players. As you can see, all of them are highly successful quarterbacks. Well, I guess their ability to inspire their teammates to give their best on the field and lead the team to victory is what makes them so valuable. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these players are you a fan of? Let me know in the comment section down below. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and until next time.